At least 8 people have been killed in separate attacks suspected to have been carried out by terrorists in 2 villages in Borno State, northeast Nigeria. The insurgents were said to have attacked the village of Abadam last night, killing at least 1 person, while a second attack on the village of Zu in Hawal local government area this morning left at least 7 people dead. The attacks are coming barely a day after the federal government announced a ceasefire agreement with the Boko Haram sect. The agreement entails, among other things, the release of the Chibok girls, whose abduction in April caused international outrage. No group has claimed responsibility for this incident. One of the conveners of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, says the group is anxious for the return of the girls after a ceasefire deal was reached between the federal government and representatives of the Boko Haram sect. In an exclusive interview with Channels Television, the former Minister of Education says while there's need to design an effective process of integration for the girls' homecoming, government must prioritize the dignity of human life by putting in place adequate means to protect lives and property.
Extremely anxious, but cautiously optimistic. We really want these girls to be brought back. They were failed a second time in the slow response to their rescue. And when rescue ostensibly started, the attitude and the approach did not dignify the conversation around them. All of that would need to be learned, internalized, taken ownership of, and it would be perfectly okay to say that there were mishaps on every side. And then we take the lessons and we want to move forward as a people united to a common cause. And that is the preservation of the dignity of the human life. The essential thing, the first thing that you do with girls like this is post-traumatic stress therapy. You have to take them through that. You have to get them to the place where they are not afraid, basically. And then you have to design a very multifaceted program that speaks continuously to the rebuilding of their confidence. And you have to spend a lot of time giving them a consciousness that they can be victors over anything in life, because already they triumphed over the worst kind of thing that any young woman could go through in her life. And then, of course, the whole conversation on their education. The whole idea of what started the trauma is that they went to school. So school might hold a very repelling, on appeal, as it were, for them. So getting them to a positive inclination again, where they think that life is worth living, and where they don't feel stigmatized. We must consciously embrace these children. There are many partners that are already waiting to be able to offer that kind of support to the Chibok girls, their parents, and their community. And, for us, just let's see the girls.
Former Minister of Education and one of the conveners of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. Well, more reactions have continued to trail Mr. Auduo's speech on Wednesday that Nigeria's major opposition party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, is behind the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group. The APC leader made the claim while addressing party faithful during the official declaration of General Muhammadu Buhari as a party's presidential aspirant in Abuja. Members of the group have condemned the claim, saying it is an attempt to discredit their efforts.
We send our greetings to the Chibok parents. We believe that one day they'll be reunited with their children, even though those children have seen a lot of trauma. We commend the Bring Back Our Girls movement, led by members of this party.
That single statement has generated reactions more than he perhaps would have imagined. Activities of the Bring Back Our Girls campaigners have long been discredited by some as politically motivated, even though they have kept the issue of the abducted schoolgirls burning locally and internationally. Since Wednesday, the 15th of October, when Chief Audu Ogbe publicly affirmed that the APC is leading the group, the credibility of the campaigners has further been brought to question.
They can't just deny it. He said it. He said it. And as I said, as I am speaking with you, my heart bleeds because I know the kind of trauma the parents of those girls go through every day. And only for you to wake up and see politicians take advantage of parents' grief. My heart bleeds.
It is very unfortunate and very ridiculous for both the parties, the APC and the Bring Back Our Girls movement. And also it shows that to the whole nation that there is a contradiction, that all the things that people have been saying on this situation is just political.
It's unfortunate if openly, publicly, the like or the personality of Audu Ogbe could make such a statement. It's unfortunate as far as I'm concerned. With due respect, if they desire to be president someday, they should not denigrate that office. It's not about Jonathan. It's about the highest office in the land that we must all treasure, we must all honor, we must, give dignity and respect to that office.
Meanwhile, members of the group have refuted these claims.
The Bring Back Our Girls campaign does not belong to APC. I'm not a card-carrying member of any party. Yes, of course, this is a group of people. We all came together because of our shared humanities. People have their different things that they do. We have members that are PDP, we have members that are APC. But the thing is that as long as we come to the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, the only discussion that we have is Chibok girls, and that is it.
Over 200 schoolgirls have been in the captivity of insurgents since they were abducted from Chibok in April. Since then, both members of the ruling party and the APC have criticized efforts and statements by each other.
The convener of Bring Back Our Girls, she is also here in our...
Now it appears the term stomach infrastructure is now synonymous with the politics of Ekiti State. At least that is one thing that politicians keep making reference to. The immediate past governor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, says there is no governor in the history of the state that has done more stomach infrastructure than his administration. Dr. Fayemi, in an exclusive interview with our political correspondent, Seun Okimbaloye, also revealed that there is a mystery behind the results of the June 21 governorship election, where he was defeated by Mr. Ayodele Fayose, and he promised the mystery will soon be unraveled.
I challenge anybody in this state to actually do an assessment of what they call stomach infrastructure. I have done more stomach infrastructure than any previous government in the state. The 25,000 people who got 5,000 naira every month as social security benefit, as senior citizens, what do you call that? Fiscal infrastructure? The youth volunteers who get 10,000 naira every month, what's that? Fiscal infrastructure? I mean, it's a very, very dubious argument, and one used by those who knew what they did with the manipulation of the election to justify their action. What they mean by stomach infrastructure that Fayemi do not abhors, and which many people know that I would never partake in. I'm not going to go out on the street and start distributing 200 naira because I want some people to hail me Babayere Babake. I don't come from that school of politics, because it does not really add value to my people. It diminishes their self-esteem. When you perform, it translates into concrete acceptance by your people. So when there's a break in that chain, something clearly must have gone wrong. I know that the story of the election would be unraveled and people would see very soon what that is. Professor Soyinka described it as a mystery. That mystery will be unraveled sooner rather than later.
For more on that exclusive interview with the former governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, where he talks about his future political ambition, state of governance in the state and its finances, and also perspectives on Ekiti politics. Watch our political program Politics Today at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Environmental experts have renewed their call for sustained efforts and individual commitment towards preserving the environment, especially coastal areas which are more prone to the damaging consequence of climate change. This call was made at the 2014 Walk for Nature, organized by the Lagos State Government in collaboration with the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. Our correspondent, Kelvin Obitin, reports.
The early morning rain did not stop them from coming out. Government officials, environment and conservative experts, representatives of corporate bodies and students participate in the annual event Walk for Nature, designed not only to encourage and promote healthy lifestyles, it is also meant to create awareness about nature conservation and good environmental practices among Lagosians. Small Island Developing States is the theme for this year's event, which draws attention to the fact that coastal areas like Lagos are more prone to the damaging effects of warming planet than those in the hinterland.
Globally, we're having a major challenge with climate change. And one of the aspects of that challenge is there's going to be a lot more water. The rains are going to fall far more heavily, and the oceans will slowly rise. So places that are close to the ocean, that are low-lying, are very, very much at risk. So we're just trying to create that awareness to protect the environment. Protecting the environment is the most important thing that anybody can possibly do.
This awareness is to ensure that in the constructions that are going on around the place, that proper drainages are provided to ensure that there's a free water flow into the main water body.
It is believed that little efforts like walking can contribute to curbing the menace of global warming.
As we are walking, we are using less energy, we are using less petrol. We are not, polluting the environment on, in terms of maybe carbon emissions, and all that. And essentially, we want to bring people back to what nature defines for us.
The overall message passed from this exercise is that we must recognize walking as a responsibility in promoting a healthier environment for posterity and stem the climate change challenge. Kelvin Obitin, Channels Television News.
We're still ahead on the news at 10. Experts suggest ways to tackle the medical condition known as clubfoot. Please join us again for details.